Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Robert, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the car scene. So specifically, I'm going to be covering what kind of cars are in the car scene, what sort of styles they have. I'm going to be talking about like what there is to do in the car scene. This video is specifically for people that are new to the car scene. I feel like the car scene's growing a lot, and what that means there's going to be just tons of new people. It's pretty cool to see that the car scene is growing. It's getting a little bit more mainstream. If you're already involved in the car scene, you may already know most of this stuff, but stay tuned because you might learn a few extra things. So like I said, the car scene is a lot more mainstream. I feel like I've seen like memes in social media that are car scene based, and it's pretty cool to see that the car scene really is growing mainstream. If you've ever heard the "Send It" meme.
I don't know, I just woke up from a little nap. It's a little dark, but you guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
That came from the car scene. I see like memes from H2OI of like donuts and stuff like that. I've seen the car scene featured on like news channels, and it really is truly cool to see that the car scene is growing into this mainstream thing. And also, like I said, a lot of new people are joining the car scene. I feel like I've had so many DMs of people saying like, Robert, how do I get into the car scene? You know, what do I need to do? So I figured I would take a couple minutes today and make a video. Now, the most important thing in the car scene for you is, what do you want to do in the car scene? Do you want to go fast? Do you want to go, you know, stance boy? Or maybe you want to, you know, build a classic car, something like that. Ultimately, you're going to have to figure out what kind of style you're looking for. You're going to have to figure out what kind of fitment you want, what kind of parts you want to buy, what kind of car you want. So since you're new to the car scene, you probably don't even know, you know, what kind of styles are in the car scene. So I'm going to categorize all the cars into these different sections. Now, I hate to generalize cars into certain categories because like every car is different and everyone has their own style and everyone's doing their own modification. So it's hard to categorize them, but I feel like if you're looking at the general picture of the car scene, it's a lot easier to just look at these specific categories. So I grouped them into 3 groups. The first group that I'm going to be starting with is the fast car scene. So the kind of cars you'll see in the fast car scene are going to be things like Mustangs, Camaros, Ford STs, Volkswagens. There's also a good meme in like the fast boy car scene that like every Subaru owner vapes. Here on Jewel ASMR. Honestly, you can really go fast with any car, given that you put the right parts on it. Now, this isn't to say that every fast boy actually, you know, puts money into speed. There are tons of people that modify their cars with the fast look, but they, you know, maybe they don't have the money yet for parts or something like that. Ideally, if you're gonna do the fast boy look, you want to go, you know, pick up a turbocharger or a supercharger, maybe, you know, do a motor swap or put a new trans or drivetrain, something like that. Primarily you want to focus on going fast. If you like speed or you like the adrenaline of going fast, you're probably going to want to go into this group because primarily you're going to be talking to people that also like to go fast. You're going to be able to find, you know, what people are doing to their cars to go fast. And then within the fast boy category, I'm also going to throw in like track cars because I think most fast boy style really comes from track or racing or something like that, autocross. So I'm gonna throw track cars in there, but not all fast boy cars are made to go on a track. Obviously, a lot of people build street cars. Primarily, people build street cars. Actually, not everyone's got money for track. I wish I did. Primarily, you're gonna see, you know, meaty tires or meaty tire fitment. You're not gonna see very many like super deep rims. You're gonna see a lot of like lighter one-piece wheels. You know, style points is not the most crucial thing when it comes to going fast, obviously. And that sort of leads us to our next category. Our next category is stance. So stance is sort of like the Instagram or the show car boy. Generally their cars are, you know, slammed to the ground and their rims fit really close to their fenders. They have really small tires on these giant rims. Honestly, if you're new to the car scene and you don't really understand stance, then it probably makes absolutely no sense to you. I have the hardest time explaining to people what the point of being stance is, because it's so impractical. It doesn't really make any sense. I frame bang my car on the highway. I can't get over speed bumps. I can barely get up my driveway. I can't get in my garage. It just really makes no sense. But being stance is not about being practical, of course. Primarily, being stance is all about being hot boy. Hot boy kind of means you're just trying to flex, which is why stance is all about that aesthetic. So with stance cars, you're primarily going to be focused with wheels, suspension, maybe aero mods or suspension mods like you know, camber adjustments, so like lower control arms, upper control arms, coilovers. Obviously you're going to want to get like high spring rate coilovers because you're going to be slammed, and you know, you don't want to be bouncing all over the highway. I mean, you're still going to be bouncing all over the highway on some stiff springs, but it'll definitely make the ride a lot better. So the aesthetic originated mainly with Japanese and Euro cars, and that's why most of the time you'll see that, you know, you see Euro stance cars or you see Japanese stance cars, and that's kind of why they call it the whole import scene. Most stance cars are imports. Now, I'm not to say you don't see you know, a stance Camaro every once in a while. It happens. Within this category, I also want to include drifting or drift cars. I feel like the whole stance scene kind of came from drift cars, because drifting really isn't about speed, it's more about style, and I think that's where, you know, having the style points on your car with the big three-piece wheels and, you know, the aero mods, I think that's where all the whole style points scene came from, kind of translated to just being stance. I think people really took it and ran with it, and I really do love the style. The way I got into stance was my cousin took me to a drift event called Final Bout in Wisconsin, and I was hooked after that. After seeing like these slam Japanese cars drifting around a track, I was hooked. Like nothing was cooler to me, so it was really an experience for me. You really just got to figure out, you know, what do you like? If you guys like stance, or you already know you like stance, hit that subscribe button down below, because that's primarily what we're doing here at Lowso. Let's get to the next topic. The third and final topic is going to be classic cars. Now my definition, and obviously this is just how I categorize it. It's not the actual definition or anything, but for me, a classic car is anything before the 80s. And the reason I say this is because most motors before the 80s are carbureted, and I feel like having a carbureted motor is a lot different than, you know, the direct injection motors that you see after the 80s. So your average classic carboy tends to either go two routes. They'll either go for the mint condition or the original mint condition. They just leave it stock, you know, clean up the car, maybe get rid of some rust, or you know, replace the seats, you know, just things to make it cleaner and more original, and you just essentially want the cleanest classic car. The other option is to go fast, and that kind of goes along with fast cars, but I really think it's a totally different style with the classic cars, and also it's pretty simple to work on a classic car if that's the route you want to go down. Carbureted motors are so simple. With old cars, the engine bays tend to be super open, so it's really easy to work on stuff. Things and parts in general are just really simple. The only thing I would say for classic cars are parts are going to be kind of tough to find. I can't speak for every car, but of course they're old cars, parts are not always available. Also with classic cars, I feel like you really can't get any hate having this car. You know, with stance, you know, you're gonna get the old people hating on it. With fast boy cars, you're still gonna get the old people hating on it. Or a lot of people modify their cars and do reckless things, and I feel like the car scene sort of has a bad rap for that. But if you have a classic car, I feel like most if not all people are gonna have respect for that car. So it is a cool scene to get into. They have tons of, you know, car shows and stuff like that. That sort of leads me into the last part of this video. So now that you've figured out what car or what style you want to do, what do you do with that? So primarily with cars, I mean, you really can do whatever you want. If you want to just modify your car and, you know, build your passion and just focus on that, then go for it. But if you want to share your build and show it to other people, and maybe get some Instagram clout if you're a stance boy or something like that. Go to meets. I feel like meets are like just the best place to, you know, meet other people, get connections. They can help you work on your car. You can, you know, meet other people with the same car as you, so you can, you know, figure out what's next for your car, or what cool mods you could do. There's so many different things you can do at a car meet. And personally, I've found some of my bestest friends at car meets, just because, you know, we share the same interests, and, you know, we can work on our cars together. And if you want to see some more like crazy builds and stuff like that, go to a car show. At least for Stance on the East Coast, they have tons of car shows. They have, you know, Import Expo and Clean Culture and all these different shows you can go to. They have tons of classic car shows. At least in my area, there's tons of like local classic car shows, and I go to those. I even bring my Miata to the classic car shows. I get a lot of like funny looks at those. And then you could also, you know, participate in cruises, go to track events. I've gone to some track events. I've gone to some drift events. And those are fun, just to see some cars in action and just see some like fully built cars. If you guys are looking for more of like the social aspects of the car, I'm gonna link a video right above me. Kellen does a video sort of talking about the social aspects of the car scene. I wanted to talk more about just the basis of the car scene, you know, the basics of what you need to know. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Drop down in the comments below if you guys have any other questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them. On another note, so me and Kellen have been talking about releasing a t-shirt for you guys. We've had some comments of people asking for merch. We figured we'd do like a small drop just to see how things go. We're not gonna be making some head-ass shirt. It's gonna be dope, so drop a comment down below also if you guys want to see a shirt drop. And I think that about wraps up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.